Welcome back to another episode of Open Late with Nev and Kev, baby.
Nev.
And I'm Kev. What's cracking?
I feel like that's like the corniest intro ever.
You just gotta say it with confidence and make it work, and then next thing you know, that becomes the thing that they're
That's
like,
the thing.
"Yo, they didn't say it," or they, you know what I mean? Or that's the part where you sound off, and I get it. But if you're here for the long ride,
If you made it to episode 4,
lock it in.
You're a real one. Let me tell you.
Yeah, we are on the road to some milestones. We hit episode 7, and then keep it moving from there.
What's episode 7? We're on episode 4, bro.
Episode 7, 90, I think it's like 89 or 90% of all podcasts fail after episode 7, not because they're not good, but because everybody quits.
Really? They just stopped trying?
Yeah. I think there's a factor in people that are used to shit not working, like, or having to take a long time for shit to work.
They just lose the patience, huh?
Well, the people that are used to it can withstand the 20 episodes with no viewership because they're just like, I'm used to this. Yeah. I like doing it. I'm going to keep doing it because I've been doing other things that took me years and years to get the, viewership or whatever have you. A lot of people that pick something up, I think they do it because it's trendy or because they're like, it's super cheap for entry.
Yeah,
like
really
somebody made a comment, which was pretty funny, that they were like, not on ours, but it was somebody online was like, they need to up the prices of podcast equipment.
People are just asked.
The same thing with like music. It's like anybody could go to like Guitar Center and just buy everything you need for a podcast, mixing boards, so on and so forth. And they were like, because the entry is so cheap, everybody will do it.
And that waters the quality, you think?
Yeah, but that also then that ups the percentage of what you're saying for like 90-something% of people that are quitting. It's because it's so saturated that they're taking it as the bulk of people that have accounts that start up and then fall off within episode 7. There's multiple factors there, just consistency with like scheduling, working with somebody and being able to pull up, and then also too when you think about like, how long can we do this and not make money from it to where we can still justify doing it?
For sure.
But then there's people, like I said, that I've like, dude, I've been doing music for years and it took forever to get notoriety or people to actually pull up and listen and get monthly listeners. You're like, I'm built for it.
Dude, I've been broke my whole life. I can withstand a few episodes with no views.
That's why. So milestone 7 is just generally like okay, we've made it past the point where everybody kind of is like, all right, I ain't gonna do this or whatever, but so far we're on track, baby. We've been doing it every Wednesday. It's been good. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and I know I am, man. I look forward to it. You dipped out on me last week, so
yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I did a couple things last week. I went to LA first, and then after LA we went to Vegas, me and my girl. Dude, we were in Vegas for fucking 7 days, bro.
Damn, it's too long.
It's a long time, but it felt like super quick.
Yeah.
Like, we got there, I think, like, last Friday night. We got there hella late, dude. Like, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And my buddy Jason, his company was doing, like, this corporate event to celebrate, like, their 30-year anniversary. So they rented out the Red Rock Hotel, which is over in Summerlin, about 30 minutes outside the Strip. Bro, fucking nicest hotel I've ever been to in my life, bro.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was just like walking around, just looking at all these rich people. I'm like, damn, dude, good thing I didn't pay for this room.
I bet it's super, super expensive.
Yeah. It was like $350, $400 a night.
Damn.
Which I guess is normal prices
Bro, I was
these
gonna
days.
say, I was looking up for 4th of July. I was gonna cut out of town with Lil Days, and we were gonna go to Tahoe. That's where her and I like to go. Yeah. And it was like $400, $380 for a night. Like the cheapest I seen was like $280, upwards of $300. I was like, no way, dude.
Yeah.
Like, not to mention the drive you have to get to go to any of these places from like where we're at. Either or, like and then you're like, and then to break all that bread for that, and then like
just for a day,
just for a night, because you're like, dude, I can't. A duration of a weekend, like, no, I'll be out of it $2,000 before the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. That's cool though. That you got the plug.
It was sick, bro.
Yeah.
Like the first, I think we had 4 or 5 nights at Red Rock. That shit flew by, man. I'm still dreaming about that place. It was like the nicest casino I've ever been to, nicest hotel I've ever been to. Everybody was super friendly too, except for one dealer. There's one dealer who was a total fucking asshole, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like my little sister She joined us too because her and her friends were doing like their own thing, but they're staying on the strip. But they came out to Red Rock to visit us one day, and it was my sister's first time ever playing blackjack, bro. Like literally ever. And so she sits at the table, and there's like 5 people at the table already, full table. She sits down there. They deal out the cards. She gets an ace first, and everybody's looking around like, no fucking way. Your fucking first time playing blackjack. You're about to get blackjack.
That's how that works.
That's
man.
really how it goes.
Yeah, it really is.
Then the cards go around all over again. Gets to her, fucking jack. She gets a blackjack right there.
Hey,
First
hell
hand
yeah.
ever, dude.
Mm-hmm.
She bet the table minimum was like $15, and then I think that you make what $37.50 if you get a blackjack off 15.
Oh, really?
Because it's 150% of your bet on a 3-2 table. So right there, she made $37.50 just off that blackjack. And then she's like, all right, I'm done. And then she just picks up her
Smart.
cash
She's
and she
smart.
dips.
She's smart, man.
And I'm
She's
like,
smart.
yo, what?
That's the way to do it. Take that luck with you.
I feel like it's always the people, it's their first time ever gambling. They like either if it's a slot, first spin, $200.
Mm-hmm.
Or like for her, blackjack right away.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's how it works. Not for me.
But the dealer was an asshole because after she got her blackjack and left, we're still playing, so she was kind of hovering around. And then she was like eating some chips or like a pizza or something, but she was like behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And the dealer like snapped at her.
Really?
Like, just fucking like as if she was been holding in this resentment for years, just snapped at her like, no eating at the table. And she's like, I'm not even sitting at the table, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm behind my homies that are at the table. Like, what is the issue? She's like, if you want to eat, go eat over there. And she like points to like this bar. And then my sister goes over there. And then the bar people start yelling at her, hey, you can't eat here if you didn't buy anything here. And it's like, bro, what do you do?
Man, that's fucking funny, dude.
Ruthless, man. I should have took that as a sign to get up too.
Yeah, that lady putting out bad energy on that table.
Yeah, that was bad voodoo, man.
That's funny. You had an overall solid time?
Great time, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, one hell of a way to celebrate.
Well, I'll tell you what. It was your pre-celebration because you didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
So I imagine if you would have known, you know what I mean? Just that, then like, but I understand why, you know, like we talked about on the last one, like I get why, you know, obviously you waited. And, you know, now that we're here on the pod, I know that, you know, the viewership that we have has been eager as well as myself. So go ahead, break down the news, dog. Remission is the mission. What's the vibe?
Remission is the mission, and mission accomplished.
Let's go, dog.
Yes, sir, man.
Yes, sir, man. That's what's up, dude.
Yes.
Fucking remish.
Finally, bro. Fucking this whole year has been a wash, dude.
Yeah.
Been waiting for this moment. All these scans, all this bullshit with insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 12 rounds of chemo when probably I just needed 8 rounds of chemo. Like a whole lot of shit went into it. You know, just leading up. And I got my result online a week ago, but I did not want to read that shit.
Right.
Like I was just looking at that thing in my inbox for the longest, and I'm just like, bro, I can click this right now and be at peace or in disarray, but I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
And then I just waited until yesterday when I finally got the result in person. And in the middle of my fucking result, the fire alarm goes off.
I seen that on your post. Dude.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Dude, I was like, he was literally just telling me like, hey man, like cancer's decreased, you know, everything's decreased, everything looks good, you're about to enter remission. And before you can even finish like what he was saying, fire alarm. We all have to evacuate.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course, that's
a
my
little
luck.
more delay for you.
Of course, that's my luck.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anything less, to be honest.
But like, what a great addition to the story, you know? It's like, that's like that's funny. Like comically funny where you're like, you got to be looking up like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's
like
like
what the hell is going
tricks.
on?
Somebody got my voodoo doll, bro. Somebody been poking with my voodoo doll.
Yeah, man. That's wild, dude. But that's so exciting because now you go into what will be a state of remission until your next pet, and then that pet scan will then let you know that the cancer has subsided completely, that it has been terminated and is not lingering and coming back or in a sense spreading or anything like that. So they'll be able to know that it's eradicated and that you are fully what do you call that from there? You're no longer in remission, right?
At that point,
remission's the period of time where it's like you don't have the cancer growing. We can't determine that it's completely gone.
Yeah.
So you're in a state of remission because it could come back.
Yeah.
And then after that pet,
you're considered a survivor.
So then you're just a survivor.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So this whole time period, remission, just waiting for the next PET scan. On the results of this PET scan that I got yesterday, the very first one of the two, um, it showed on there that there still is some inflammation in my lymph nodes, like on my left armpit, more specifically, left axillary is what they call it. So he said that could be for a number of things. Like they're not entirely sure if it's still cancer or not because your lymph nodes filter things out of your system, right? So
Yeah.
6 months of chemo is still being filtered out of my system by my lymph nodes.
Ah, okay.
So there's a chance that they're still inflamed because it's still filtering. Like I just stopped chemo like a month ago.
Right.
It takes a long time for everything to flush out.
Yeah.
So that's what the doctor was saying. So he's saying like he's still confidence remission, but he said there still is some inflammation because like anything under 1 centimeter for your lymph nodes are cool. Like that's healthy. That's fine. I think my lymph node on my left armpit, I think it was like 1.2, 1.3, something like that. So just slightly over the norm.
Okay.
So that could just be my body flushing everything out.
Right, right.
So we'll find out in 3 months,
Yeah. Lymph nodes are a crazy thing because you have just so many of them throughout your
Yeah.
body, and especially like around your neck and stuff.
Yeah.
And like growing up, probably from being in a state of dehydration, because like when you're a kid, you're
You don't
not
drink
like
water.
drinking a gang of water.
You're
So
drinking
and then
Capri
I
Sun.
was always like sports and skating and being out, not being a tablet baby. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
living
back
life.
then, obviously, we talked about it, but didn't necessarily, that wasn't the way that our upbringing was. So we were like scooters, freaking skateboarding, BMX, whatever it
climb
was,
trees.
anything. Yeah. And what I was getting at before I started, I have to bring me back in, but it was that because of that and then allergies, my lymph nodes would get inflamed and shit.
Like
and
often.
Yeah, not crazy, but enough to where sometimes they'd be like tender, and I would always be like, "What is that?" And then my doctor was like, "Oh, because your lymph nodes drain excess fluid,
Waste,
just all this stuff.
toxins.
So if you're like on the verge of getting sick, or you have a allergy infection, or or sinus infection, or you just have allergies, it all flows through those areas of your body.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know until what you went through that they were under your armpit,
They're
and like
everywhere.
up here behind your like
In your neck,
yeah,
your
'cause
armpits.
I remember when you had showed me, and I was like, "Oh, damn, dude!" Like, and it's weird because it just feels like a cloud, like it's just puffy, and it's
Yeah.
all that retention of fluid. And I'm sure deeper down it's like firm or whatever, because like if it's tumorous or whatever the case is. But I know like just any pocket of fluid, you're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, you
But it's a
freaked
trip
out.
though, so I could understand that. Like, makes sense that when you go through chemo, all those chemicals that are going through your body are still in
Detox.
itself,
It takes
detoxing.
months to detox, maybe even years. Because chemo is
Yeah.
so like treacherous on your body.
Oh yeah, no, it's insane that the body can withstand something to that degree. So when people are like, oh, like I'm scared to, I get being scared of fentanyl. I totally understand that. But before Fetty was like a thing and people were like tripping about it, people be like, I'm scared to do this, that, or the third. Like, what happens if like, my body doesn't deal with it right? Or like what happens? And I'm like, and I'm sure for certain people have different reactions, but then I'm like, or like people are like, I don't want to shoot testosterone, but I want to get bigger in the gym, or I'm scared of steroids or this, that, or the third. And then I'm like, then there's people like just shooting their body with chemo. And I'm like, dude, it's nuking the inside of your body. You're losing your hair. You're feeling like shit. Like the discoloration of your skin, your whole body's operating under a state of complete like outside of the normal.
Yeah.
You are literally surviving a chemical that is put there to eradicate good and bad throughout your your bag of bones, dude. And then you're just, and that's, I'm sure what you feel like at the end of it, just drained, like nothing there. So then when people are like scared to take fucking certain vitamins because they're like, I don't take vitamins.
It's like, bro, there's way
like,
worse things.
Dude, there's so much worse stuff that could, and your body withstands it. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that, people have an allergy to stuff and they're like, no, if I take it, I'll literally die. It's like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for
Like, I remember I posted a video once, like it was like I had a series called Chemo Cheat Day where I would just go out and like grab some food,
Mhm.
So I went to like a taco truck or something, and then I forgot what platform it was on, but just vlog my tacos, all that. I was excited to fucking eat something real other than soup for once. And then like people coming for me in the comments like, oh, you gotta avoid carbs, you gotta avoid this, you gotta avoid sugar. And it's like, bro, if I feel like eating a damn taco, I'm eating a
And
taco.
just for y'all, that's what I was one saying that shit to him all the time.
Yes, dude. And I'm like, dude, fucking chemo is the worst thing I could put in my body. A taco's not gonna kill me. If I want to eat a taco, let me eat a damn taco, please.
Let me interject there because I totally agree with that, and I was like, I get, yes, you should enjoy those things, right? Totally agree. Like, if you want a taco, that's not going to accelerate your cancer, but it is the idea that doctors, like we talked about, and now it's becoming more public knowledge. So it's just funny how that happens. But because they don't take nutrition, because they don't look at that stuff, they tell you, oh no, eat everything you want, eat whatever you want. Like, yes, be careful about alcohol because your liver and stuff like that and your body's already processing chemotherapy.
But in moderation.
But they're like, yeah, but in moderation. But they're saying, no, not moderation when it comes to sugars and carbs. They're like, eat whatever you want. It does not matter. And that is fucking wrong.
Yep.
That is wrong. That is not a, oh, well, you're not a doctor. No, motherfucker. It don't matter if I'm not a doctor. Like, the fact of the matter is that your body is going to react off of these things. And when you have somebody that does that looks at like I guess you want to say like maybe the molecular system of the way that your body processes stuff, they say the accelerant of cancer cells across people is sugar and fucking carbs. So if you're a person that has a terrible fucking diet, not saying that you do,
I eat pretty damn
you
healthy.
eat pretty good, so you're not gonna be the top guy that you should be worried about. I do caution to the wind because I'm your brother, and I'm just trying to tell you, like, hey, bro, like, I know you're fighting this. Let's anything that I can, I'll send you videos off anything. I was telling you that we need to go to Russia because they were doing some shit out there, like helping people with like cancer studies and stuff that we and trials and things that they do there that we can't get past here because it's not lucrative for them, or whatever the fuck. You have sympathy for the FDA, but if somebody is the type of person where they're eating fucking chips all day, they're drinking soda all day,
eating like shit,
and they're eating fast food 3 days, 3 times out of the day, 7 days out of the week, yes, you should probably clean up your fucking diet and not eat those things. And it is okay if you have your chemo cheat day. That should be the regimen for people. But when they just tell you, oh no, do what you want.
Yeah, that's false. Because like, some people eat horribly.
And that's the thing, is majority of people do, and a majority of people lean to food and substances as comfort.
Yep.
So then when you're going through something like that, and then you and now you're leaning hard into those vices, now you're making the chemo not work as effectively because you're feeding fuel to the cancer it's trying to eradicate.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? How could a doctor, I'm not even close to being a fucking I'm an idiot when it comes to this. Like, you know, like, I'm not a doctor, I don't go to school, but I have enough intelligence to just go look on the computer, like, hey, what are the things that are fuel sources to cancer cells? And those are the 2 things it says.
ChatGPT will tell you.
ChatGPT will tell you too, and it'll also give you a regimen of what you should stay away from. Like, but doctors are going to tell you, no,
eat whatever you want.
So I just think it's a little bit counterintuitive, and it's doing a disservice. And that's why I think then they've been talking about it like Bobby Kennedy, where he's like, you know, that should be something that is in your studies for being a doctor. Plan, it should be a huge part of the way that your body reacts and responds and heals and operates, is off of what you put into your stomach. Yeah, which is what we talked about on the first pod. Gut
health is everything, you know.
Yeah, that you're like, I truly am like, that's your first brain.
Yeah,
like that right there is what tells this how to operate. All of this is just a response factor that's telling your body how to then operate outside of the fuel that you're giving it.
Yeah, if you eat like shit, you're gonna feel like shit.
Yes.
You know, 2 and 2 together. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know?
You eat things that give you higher cortisol levels, and you wonder why you're stressed out and have anxiety.
Yeah.
You reduce those things, you reduce inflammation, you start to feel better, start to think clearer, you start to be in control of your mind and your body, and you wonder why that is. And it's like, oh, I just did the right. Yeah. So I don't know, like, I get super passionate about it because I've been like a nerd about those things majority of my life, and not freaking out, but like, I get super passionate. There you go. That's a little better of a word about these things, because I'm like, bro, a lot of advocacy that people are willing to push forward onto other areas they don't even do for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, you should be the biggest advocate for yourself. You should be the one that like I said, take inventory every day of how you feel, of what you need to do, of how we could be better, how we could tighten up. What works for somebody else is not always going to work for you. So you have to be able to be like reflective enough of how you work and how you operate to make those adjustments.
Yeah.
And a lot of that could prevent people from having to be on SSRIs and things like that that have no rehabilitation plan, and then you end up being dependent on those things. Or like whenever I was on Adderall, this last doctor that I had took me off of my medication out of nowhere. She would also not refill it when she was supposed to. Terrible fucking doctor. Like it was, I have plenty of stories I could get into, but this one in particular, I would keep going back and forth and arguing with her because I'm like, dude, like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. Like I'm not out here. Like I'm not the person that you should be saying like I need a drug test every single time I fill your prescription. And then whenever I do that, and then she sends me for another drug test because she
didn't believe
the
it.
window
to
for it to
be
my
valid.
prescription.
Yeah.
So I had to then do it again. I'm like, how many of these fucking things are you gonna make me do before now my chemical balance? It's not even safe for me to take this drug underneath you because I take it, my body finally adjusts to it after 3 months.
Then it's gone.
And then it's gone. And then
it has to readjust once you take it again.
Exactly. And so it's like you're making this shit worse for me. And not to mention it was oh yeah, she took me off of it. She's like, I'm gonna put you on something else. She gave me fucking blood pressure medication.
What?
Because she was like, oh, you know, this might be actually something that would work even better, but be careful upon like getting up too fast or quick movements because you could pass out because your blood pressure. So if I have normal blood pressure and it's regulated properly
Then
within my own system,
why would you need blood pressure medication?
because lower blood pressure calms your system down. It makes you more lethargic and a little bit more like calm because your blood's calm. It's very low, but it's pulling it lower than the threshold that it needs to be at. So therefore now I have low blood pressure because you're suppressing my normal state that then changes the fucking operating system of how my body naturally processes. So now if I'm not taking that blood pressure medication, it is spiking now above where it's supposed to be. Now I have high blood pressure. Then I become reliant on now needing blood pressure medication. And then you realize that doesn't work for my attention deficit. So now you're prescribing me the shit that I've been needing the whole time. So now I'm dependent on two things. How does that work? Now you fucked me up because you tried to tell me I needed something different. So I am not your fucking lab rat, essentially, is like how I feel about these things. Like, don't take me off of shit because you think.
It's an insurance grab. That's what it is.
It's disgusting, bro. And granted, you know, GVHC.
I hate Golden Valley Health Center.
Yeah.
Y'all suck, dude.
Wake up and stub your toe every day.
Oh my God.
It's just very unfortunate. And it's like, dude, I've had 2 phone calls over the past like month and a half that have been like, oh, are you still interested in your appointment and this referral? I'm like, at this point, I don't even remember what they're for because I've had to go other ways. They're like, oh, it's for your ENT and for, you know, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, we've had this since last year. One of them was almost 2 years that the referral was going to expire. I'm like, that they needed to push it through or some shit like that. I'm like, what are you guys talking about, bro? Like, I've got the help I needed elsewhere because you guys took so damn long that I had to do my own research, find out other places to take my insurance, and that even is god awful.
You know what's crazy about Golden Valley?
Oh, they're the worst, dude.
So when I was first experiencing my symptoms for the cancer, which I later found out I had cancer, right? My primary care provider was Golden Valley Health Center. Fuck y'all. So look, I had a blood test done there the second that I had issues with my cough, with the skin stuff, you know, the itchiness. Their first reaction, of course, the cough, here's the inhaler. Second reaction, itchiness, okay, go see a dermatologist. None of those things work. Next thing, blood test, right? On the blood test, it showed that my white blood cells, red blood cells, like everything was out of whack, dude. Like I never seen a blood test look so red. You get greens on a healthy blood test. My shit was so red, bro. And I did not hear back from my primary for 2 months to get the results explained to me. I just saw red, and I had to go figure out what to do with the red. Because every time I tried to call, get a hold of them, be like, hey, like I need to see my primary, my blood work's not looking good, I need a referral. Oh, we don't have an appointment for 3 months. You have to wait 3 months. And then I was like,
they'll cancel on you.
And they'll cancel it.
And they'll be like, oh, sorry, the doctor, because dude, they play like ping pong with doctors.
Yeah, because you don't know who you're going to see. You never
They're
see
like,
the same doctor
you're
again.
getting a different primary. Now you have to do telehealth. So they'll make you come in, put you in a room to get on a tablet to talk to a doctor that's not even there, that knows nothing about you, and then they have to then make a determination off of what's going on. I'm like, how? Like, if I came here because I thought I broke my ankle or
Like,
whatever,
you're just gonna
fractured my
FaceTime
shit,
me?
I'm like, am I supposed to do one of these and show to the fucking tablet and be like, hey, how does this look? Like, it's just
It's ridiculous.
Granted, a lot of the time it's for people that are getting their prescriptions filled, because a lot of people that have dependencies, because they were just putting everybody on,
Yeah, everything.
morphine patches and all these different SSRIs and all this different stuff, and hydrocodones and whatnot, and then they're like giving people everything that they want for all this time. Now they have a dependency on it, and then now that they're just trying to pull the rug, or
Yeah.
or they'll be like, oh, you have to go to pain management. You go to pain management, then they're gonna have your doctor's appointment to fill your prescription, and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, your doctor's not here anymore. We're gonna have to get you a new doctor because we can't prescribe it. You have to have a doctor to authorize. Then you get this new doctor that's like, well, I don't really agree with pushing pills, so I don't want to authorize this.
It's like
That happens to people that I've heard so many stories where they're like, so I'm not going to get my prescription. And then they're like, yeah, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get to another doctor that feels comfortable doing this. Then you go to another doctor, and then that doctor is like, oh, yeah, but I think we're going to alter your dosage. Maybe they'll give you more, maybe they give you less. Maybe they're like, oh, we're going to get back to you and have somebody call you because I need you to do X, Y, and Z.
and then at that point you've already detoxed.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you're
Yeah.
like feeling like shit because your body, like, you can't. For people that live off opioids, like, you can't just go from
Stop,
taking
yeah.
3 a day, which is your regimen for a month, and then
Just stop.
and then stop.
Yeah.
Like, that's so fucking bad for you. They should be tapering you off. They should be giving you alternatives. They should be doing anything that can help, because now you're going to be in worse conditions.
It's
And
literally
then,
drug withdrawal.
and then those people then turn to the streets, or people that get their prescription and don't take it, and then they have to buy it off them because they're like, whether or not they're doing it recreationally or they need it, the fact of the matter is that is the line of what happens.
Well, the
You move
healthcare
people-
system just turns people into drug addicts.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. And it's just very unfortunate that people are so mad about, like, funding being pulled or whatever have you. I don't know the depths of all that, and I don't think majority of people do. I think they're taking little bits and pieces from what they hear online, from their media platforms, that they're all fear mongers. They all just want you to be in a state of panic, in a state of disarray, in a state of being anxious, and that's so fucking wrong, because they hate the politics side of it, like, or they don't like the people that are in power. And it's like, dude, you're doing such a disservice to the people that are the ones that you say you're advocating for.
Yeah. It's so
like,
counterintuitive.
And now those people are in like a state of panic, and that may not even be the fucking case. Like, nothing has even happened yet. You guys are just saying this, that, and the third about stuff that they don't even really have the full knowledge of. They're all being pushed information that's on a piece of paper that then they're telling to the public as like this factual opinion. And then you have all these consumers that are just watching, fucking glued to CNN and MSNBC and Fox, and then they're like, oh my God, the world is burning. And it's like, dude, calm down. Advocacy starts with you. Go do your fucking research. Go look at that bill. Go read it point by point. Go look at all that stuff. Cross-reference with ChatGPT. If you need somebody to walk with you and hold your fucking hand, and do that. Nobody's willing to do that. They would rather listen to some fucking dipshit that does not give a fuck about you on their political platform and tell you exactly what's going on, so that you can be the first person to be like, what? Oh no, F him, F that person, like, this is the terrible misogyny, fucking narcissistic. And it's like, okay, there's opinion, there's fact, and then there's actually what's the account of what's happening in your actual life. And if you cannot discern those things, you will become a victim to it all. So you're worried about, let's trace it back to the fucking whole thing of where they're getting you so confused of what's the actual thing you're mad about. And that is to make sure that your medication is covered, that you can afford gas and afford groceries. Let's get it back to that. Let's not worry about all this other shit that's being diluted in the water, and you don't even know what you're drinking at this point.
Yep.
You're just fucking punch drunk off of like the politician pool of bullshit that they're feeding you. And then you're like, oh, I forgot what I was even mad about. I'm just mad about everything. And you're like, well, that's why you're fucking blind and dumb and you don't know how to figure out the shit. So then that's where people could go and look at this stuff, because public information, and then figure it out for yourself of what's actually going on. Now, when they pull the funding, it's like, sure, some people maybe shouldn't be on it. Maybe some people should go get a fucking job that could work. Maybe they shouldn't just fucking leech off the government and with their fucking handout and being like, gimme, 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 because they've been such babied over the system that the government's like, don't worry, be a fucking loser. And this is not everybody. Like, I've been a beneficiary of living off government aid growing up because we needed it. Mm-hmm. And the minute that I could get off of it, I did everything I could. And that's a whole nother conversation of rehabilitation programs that are not installed within the system to help people get out of those places. The government does not lift you up. They want to anchor you down so you are dependent. And as long as you are dependent, you will wear the shackles of what they want you to conform to. So therefore, you can keep sucking at the tit of what they have to provide you. So that's literally what happens. Okay. You want to get off of this stuff, you're going to have to make sacrifices. It's just going to be very uncomfortable, but there is a way. You just have to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and do it.
Yep.
But most people are too scared, and I understand that, because they now have living with their family. They are now getting, $5, $6, $7, $1,000 of fucking 3 different food cards in one single household with 4 people living there, each of them getting fucking upwards of $300 to $400 of food.
The system.
And they're working the system. They're not working a job. They're getting paid off the government. They're living in government housing that goes off of your income. So most of them don't have rent at all. They're paying for maybe their utilities and probably getting low income off of PG&E and stuff like that, which they have plans for. So they're living plush, comfortable, and what? They don't have to work. They're giving everything free. And then they get, as bad as it is, Medi-Cal and all these health providers that the taxpayer is paying for so they could get it for free.
So then America, it's an incentivized to stay broke then. Because if you make over 2,000, all of that is gone.
Yes. If they tell you, look, we're going to give you a home to live in, but you cannot make more than this amount of rent, or we will put you to the full market price of what that rent costs. So if we just go based off of your part-time income, that means that you are working a job so that therefore you could be in the program, because that's what they used to make you have to do. And then it changed, and now you don't have to have a job at all, but they will make sure that you are working before you get into that program unless you are fully disabled, right? So then your income goes based off of that. So they're like, oh, this person doesn't work. Some people are not paying a fucking dollar to their rent, right? Some people are paying $100 because they make a part-time wage. Part-time wage barely pays them groceries. So therefore now you qualify for SNAP benefits. Now you're getting your SNAP benefits. Then next thing you know, that job goes away. Now you get all these benefits for free because poor you, your job went away. Literally, because you fucking quit. Yeah, right. No pun intended. I'm get passionate about this is only because like I've lived it for so long,
and it ruins the system for everybody that really needs it.
It does. It really does. And it's upsetting because it takes this like standard of what America used to be, of that you come here for opportunity, and you come here because you want to build something, and you want to leave a legacy, and you want to be great, and you want to be remembered, and you want to leave something for your family.
The American dream.
Then yes, the American dream, the epitome of what that was, is now subsidized government housing and SNAP benefits and government aid that everybody leeches off of, because that is now the standard of what the American dream is, because of how how fucked up the system is.
But okay, devil's advocate to that. So America sets you up to where you kind of are relying on those systems, right?
Yeah.
But what incentive do people that are living in that system where everything's taken care of, their health care, their food, like their groceries, their rent, everything's taken care of. All they got to do is make less than $2,000, which you can spend on your whatever things, here and there, blah, 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 because all your necessities are handled.
Mm-hmm.
What incentive does that give anybody to work in the workforce? Because first of all, the workforce doesn't even pay you anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You make $16 an hour and are expected to pay $3,000 a month for a mortgage these days.
That's the game.
How is that going to work? So of course these people are taking advantage of like working the system and staying broke and making less than $2,000. Because if you make $2,001, now all of a sudden you really can't afford anything. If you go out to eat, just one of you, it's going to cost you like $25 at least. If it's you and your girl, forget it. $60-$70 easy. It doesn't matter where you go. Even if you go to McDonald's, bro, a fucking Big Mac meal, $17 after every fee, tax, whatever. And we're in Ceres, California. You know what I'm saying? People in LA, the Big Mac meal, same thing. Same meal, $20 probably. So like what incentive is there for people to get out of that when the government, the economy, like nothing is advocating for building a better life for yourself? You're making $16 an hour working your ass off.
There's not. And this is why you should vote for me for president. No,
imagine.
No, dude. So I believe, and I've worked this out in my head, and there should be a rehabilitation program installed within these government aid programs. Like that should be the fundamental like entry point, is that you should be on a contract, which you are, but the contract should be a stipulation of rehabilitation as the primary goal of what they're trying to do for these families, which means that, hey, you're in a bad time of your life right now. We're going to give you 5 years, right? We're going to give you 5 years. In this 5 years, you are going to be able to receive your food benefits that will be adjusted based off of your income, but it will make sure that you have enough for your family. There's no need to have excess where you're now selling your SNAP benefits to somebody for cash, which is what a lot of people do.
Because no taxes on groceries.
And it's insane how much that then becomes a business and monetize or you know, within that structure. So back to the point being is that I would say that, hey, we're going to give you all these things because I believe in the safety net of what we can provide as taxpayers to our other fellow Americans that need help, that need support. And I'm all about that. But I am a fair father in the sense that I will love you and I will help you and I will do what I can, but I need to see you also pick up your fucking problems and work towards a direction and a goal, and I will be there to help you. The minute that I see that you are now taking me for granted, that you are now leeching off of me and wanting me to pay for your livelihood, and you've stopped working and stopped having ambitions and stopped caring, then that is the part where then I say, okay, I can no longer help you. You're going to have to fend for yourself. And that is tough love. And that is something that the government, I think, has fell short of realizing, is that it's still love. It's just tough love. I'm not telling you that I don't want to help you. I'm just saying that you also need to help yourself. And that is what I'm trying to help establish within you.
Yep.
So if you have a rehabilitation program within your governmental assistance, that then tells people that, hey, I'm here to help you while you need it, but I need you to start fucking moving in a direction.
Because otherwise people will stay on that for the rest of their lives. No
Exactly.
cares, no worries.
No worries. And then everybody that's on the tax paying dollar, when the amount of people that are living off that increases, the taxes increase so that we could fund those people to live that way. Meanwhile, most of them are able-bodied persons. If you're an older person and you really need that help, yes, you should be able to receive that until you die. If you are disabled and you literally cannot go to get a job, then you should be able to receive that. I totally firmly believe in it. But I think within that contract of 5 years, it should say that it could be readjusted based off of, you know, tragedy within the family, certain things that happen to the economy that could prolong that time that you're in those governmental assisted programs. But in that 5 years, it should be that you will have like a social worker or something that's attached to that puts you in job market classes that help you establish skills to go into the workforce, that help you get your financial aid so that therefore that you can go to college, that you could do these things. Department of Rehabilitations is a great program that helps with doing that for people, but that's what people with disabilities. Being broke is a disability. Being broke is not a permanent disability, but it is something that has disabled you from being able to contribute full time to the workforce and to the world. And so therefore that you should have these assisted programs that help you get to that point. And so then after that 5 years, if you've just literally sucked off the tit of these programs that are there for you, then you should now be moved from that program. Figure it the fuck out. We have another family that we need to help, that you are taking their spot.
Yep.
They are ready to go out there and get after it. They are ready to go and be the best person that they could be. They just need a little bit of help right now. And that is what we should be doing.
But all of that requires government funding, and government doesn't want to fund that. They'd rather fund wars in other countries.
Well, also too, if we stopped making fucking roundabouts in our cities for no goddamn reason.
Those are so annoying.
And yet then you go down other streets and there's potholes that'll eat your tire up.
Yep.
It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me, but yet they're doing all this dumb stuff like that. It's like,
our taxes go up.
And yeah, I think that there should be a lot more things that are happening within the community to boost morale as well. Like the fact that we only do like one, I understand it's expensive and I don't know the politics within all that, but like, you know, like the Ceres Street Fair, right?
Or one thing a year.
I think that you should do more stuff like that to get local vendors out, to get local people out, to showcase the stuff that they're building and selling and creating. You should do that to boost the morale, where people feel a little bit more sense of community. Like the city of Ceres is on the up and up, and it's becoming more corporatized and whatnot, but it just feels dead as far as like the essence of community.
Because there's no art, there's no community, there's no events for people to come together. Nobody really knows each other.
Well, they work
here,
and they go in their house.
Unless you guys like grew up together, went to school together, worked together. But other than that, there's no real opportunity to meet new people that otherwise would have never been in your circle, you know?
Totally. No, and that's why I'm like, you know, I just, as stern as I am about certain things, I have like an absorbent amount of love that I have for people that I just want to see everything be better. And I think that starts by turning off your fucking news and just trying to just look at the world of being the most fulfilled that you can. And to understand that it takes increments, and every day is a small piece to that puzzle. Every day is a little small gesture you could do for somebody that then stacks up these like larger wins or larger magnitude of positivity you can then push outward.
Yeah.
When you start from a place of where everybody is at now, where there's no morale, there's no incentive, there's no reason for people to go out of their way, it seems impossible and it seems non-existent. But it's like, okay, if everybody just slightly did that a little bit more, a little bit, like, and then your city advocated for that. And I've been seeing a lot of people, like I was out in Waterford working yesterday when I was driving through, they had a local pool. Everybody was out there swimming.
Pool?
Community pool.
Yeah, we don't got nothing like that.
Bruh, I was going the other day too, down at past Hillmar. This is the first time I seen it. Big community pool. Everybody's out there with their picnic baskets and their blankets, and they're swimming, and the kids are running around. And I'm like, it's a small town, very small, smaller than the series. And the community in that regard seemed like that's what people should be doing. People should be giving others a reason to get out and be around one another.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe those places aren't your local fucking bar or pub, and that doesn't have to be built around alcohol and substances. Maybe it just has to be built around camaraderie and community.
I feel like entertainment nowadays, not even entertainment industry, but just generally being entertained, you know, like there's nothing you can really do out and about that doesn't involve drinking or eating out.
Yeah.
There's no like activities in the towns that we live in where it's just like, hey, come through, family fun, or even just like, oh, this is like a community basketball tournament, you know, all ages welcome. Like, you know, there's nothing like that exists. So instead, everybody's at the bar, everybody's spending $25 a meal at a restaurant, and we're all broke, you know, and that's just like the only thing there is to do. Even when you hit up your friends to hang out, it's like nobody even hangs out at each other's houses anymore.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, we have to go somewhere. Oh, we have to go get a drink. We have to go to Dust Bowl. We have to, you know, whatever. It's like,
yeah.
And I just feel like communities in like these smaller cities, man, like there's an opportunity to where you can build within that. Like, you know, LA and bigger cities, it's a little bit harder. But smaller cities, man, like we can really start doing these community events, you know, but I don't know why nobody does it.
In LA back in the day, neighborhood cookouts.
Yeah.
You have a big city, you have a small community in your neighborhood or whatever. It's very sectionized out there. That's what you do. I'm doing a barbecue. Granted, yes, like this is like one of those things where I know people are going to be like, well, everything costs money. Totally. I'm not saying go feed the neighborhood. It's very difficult. But if more people came together and they were like, hey, let's all pitch in and like make this big potluck for the block party.
When was the last time there was a block party on your block?
And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, I got neighbors I never met. I like whatever. All the, like these kids now are coming out and hanging out with each other that didn't even know they were neighbors, but may have played online together. It was like, so I don't know. I hope we get to a place like that within at least our, I mean, it's a grandiose idea to say the world, but at least within our community. And I think the big part of that, and something that like, it's been weighing on my heart for quite some time. And I feel like I'm leaning that way more and more every day, but like I'm becoming less and less present and like, hands-on with like social media. Like I've removed everything from like my Instagram quite a while ago, and like I just rarely go on there to like either chat with people or post something up on my story. But I'm like, there's something about this like chase of validation that happens where we constantly have to post and show everything we're doing, and I think that's awesome because that's like about the only way that we connect anymore. So I don't think that people should stop doing that. I just think like the way that we become so submerged in that, and that becomes like identity and purpose, and you're like, I have to post, or I have to do this, or I have to see what everybody's doing online. It's like sometimes I'm at work and I'm driving, and then when I take my break, like I'm like, why is it that like my phone is the thing while I'm having lunch? I'm like, oh, I'll go on TikTok for a minute and just like scroll. And next thing you know, it's like by the time my lunch is over, I feel kind of gross. I'm like, I just seen like a bunch of shit it didn't give me anything.
Yeah, instead of like sitting there eating your lunch, conversating with your coworkers next to you at the table or whatever, instead everybody's just like locked in the break room.
It is the funniest thing. If I thought about this the other day, if the United States had an NBA logo, it would be this.
The cell phone. The fucking vape.
Yeah, they be hitting their fucking vape and looking at their palm of their hand where the phone should be. That's like the U.S. fucking NBA logo is that, dog.
That's so funny, dude, because that's all I see. I just see people
Bro,
hitting
if they're
vape.
not sucking on their adult pacifier, they're looking at their fucking soul-consuming device. And I'm like, that feels like a cycle. That feels like I am siphoning in poison and then looking at more
and
poison.
digesting poison.
And then it's just this reoccurring thing. And then you wonder why you're like, why do I fucking hate everything? Like, why does everything suck? Like, why am I so envious of the people that feel like they've escaped? Maybe it's through social media. Maybe I need to do social media. Oh shit, I'm getting anxious. I'm getting distracted and thinking about my problems. Let me get back on my phone. And it's like this motherfucker, dude. Like,
Yep.
like how long is somebody gonna continue to keep doing that before, you know? There's very few times that like a difference of opinion can submerge where it feels almost like that is a better idea than the initial one that you thought. And that may not make sense, but it will in a second. It's that I thought, in a way, what if breaking away from social media is like your social exile that you are putting on yourself voluntarily. It's like a voluntary exile from this, that you become the next version of the uncontacted tribe, right? And now you are the person that did not conform to being fully submerged into technology, so therefore you are isolated from this social construct that is now being created and lived in
online fully. In the metaverse.
Yes. So then the alternate opinion is this: what if that is the uncontacted tribe from the spiritual world?
You know
from
what's
the person
wild?
that,
like, people, we all talk about stuff we've seen online, whether it's a viral video or like a funny thing somebody said, and then we talk about it amongst ourselves in real life. Like, oh, did you see that? Did you see this? And we also all get recommended the same videos on our For You, right? And that's just funny because it's like, instead of real life conversations where it's like, oh, we're talking about something that happened to us in our real actual life, instead our conversations with each other are becoming what we saw online.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. Like, there's a lot of comedians that are being more popular now than ever because they tell stories. Like, they're literally telling life stories. Like, I have so many, like, from, like, you guys will all be on the porch, be like, yo, Kev, tell us a story. Because I would have stories. Just the craziest fucking stories. And it's because I lived a lot of life. Like, I've lived, and that's like the beautiful aspect of being born in 93 and living outside and not having internet until I was like I don't know, 12, 10. That a dial-up computer, and then shortly after that, it was 2006, like you just play.
YouTube came out.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't really like I would come home, I would get on MySpace, and then I would write people at night. That would be it. Or I'd text on my little flip phone, and that's it. And then all day, from when you wake up to when you basically the sun goes down, I would be outside. I'm skating. I'm getting in trouble. I'm like doing a bunch of shit that makes for, my whole life. Then that became a big part of that. Even through my teenage years, my young adult years, it was just being immersed more in the world. And now I see that's all dwindling away. Like, now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, yo, like, I'm falling deeper into my phone, that like I'm just cool chilling, just being on my phone for 45
these kids
minutes.
That grew up and that's all they know is
I know, brother. I know.
They don't know outside.
I know. All, like you said, all their stories are manufactured stories or given to them, or they're reciting what they've heard from somebody else, and their secondhand, thirdhand stories that are so removed from their own experience that it becomes like this almost like unlivable thing. They're like, what, that happened to you? Like,
you know
that's
what's crazy?
And you're like, it's not that crazy. I was just living life.
So like, think about the news, right? There's a lot of influencers online that break down the news and digest it, and then that's how a lot of common folk get their news, from these synopses
so bad
that these influencers make, rather than watching the actual news. So it's like, you ever play the game of telephone when you're a kid?
Oh yeah.
It's like Lost in Translation. So like, something happens, right? Whatever reporter at whatever news agency, they find out about it, they write the story about it, they publish it. And then from there, whatever the reporter wrote on the teleprompter, then the person that's reading the teleprompter has to deliver it, right? So then it's like, all right, already being summarized by this person.
Yep.
The next layer, some TikToker somewhere is going to talk about that same story but put it in their own words,
Yep.
and then deliver that to the masses, and then that just multiplies and continues, and then things start getting lost in translation. News starts becoming fake news, because it's just like you're getting it from so many different sources, so many different viewpoints. What is even real anymore?
Right.
And it's just hard for everybody to break down and digest what is actually going on in the world. Like, we're just hearing summaries of everything.
Yeah.
We're not really hearing the fact of like, this is actually what happened. We're just hearing like opinion. And then now nobody's making their own opinions.
Right.
They're just taking everyone else's.
That right there is I think that's one thing that we've touched on quite a bit is that what's the term? Whatever, it'll come to me. But essentially is nobody having original thoughts or opinions.
Sheep mentality.
Yeah. Or what is it? Group thinking.
Yeah.
Groupthink. It's like you're easily gonna be algorithmic. The algorithm will put you into the community that you're gonna be. Your thought process and opinions lead you down, and the next thing you know, you find 1,000 more people with the same type of opinion as you.
Yeah, is that not brainwashing?
No, for sure.
Modern
Community
day
think
brainwashing?
is, yes, it absolutely is. And then it's like, yo, man, that's why like independent forms of thinking will never make you feel more isolated.
Yeah.
Because you are alone in your thought. You are not being fed this like string of ideas that you're getting from all these people that have social influence, and then you're forming that into a what you believe is a structured idea, because you're like, well, I've heard it from here, and then cited this source and over here. And then you within yourself fall into ego and fall into which everybody I believe has narcissistic tendencies. And then you take that as then identity, and you're like, well, this is my original thought because I took all these different thoughts and I made it into one thought. And it's like, no, dude, like that's, in a sense, that is sometimes how that works, but like that's not an original thought. Like original thought is when you are completely alone with like random ideas, which people would attribute that as to like high thoughts. Dude, those are more original thoughts.
Those are realist thoughts.
Of where you're just way out there deep into your mind. Like you're in the cosmos, you're in the stars, you're just into this like daydreaming state where you're having these flood of ideas and things that you're processing within. How does this make me feel? Like, why am I thinking this right now? That's so strange. The more you live in that, the more you start to get these ideas of, you know what? I don't think I necessarily agree with that person, but if I would have immediately lived in that world and leaned into it, I would have been like, no, they're 100% right. But it's like, you didn't give yourself space to like think about that shit with like internally. How does that really fucking look without influence?
Yeah.
But you cannot escape influence these days unless you remove yourself from your phone, which, to circle back around, is why I've been like thinking within myself, like,
delete everything.
I'm more like, I think there is a importance to keep some type of like right now, like look, if I was doing this with you, right, and we're like, okay, cool, pod is over, let's clip it up, get everything ready to rock and roll, and I go on my PC and I allot an hour of time to get my clips and post everything to my TikTok through my PC, and I just get everything ready to rock and roll, and all I have to do is go on there and post and get off. I feel like you're utilizing that as a tool.
Yeah.
Right? You're utilizing that to showcase and to propel what it is that you're actually doing outside of the internet. And then therefore, then you don't, like, I could delete it off my phone and not go on those apps on my phone, but I use it as a business structure to that when I go home and get on my PC, that allotted time allows me to get on that to then do what I need to do. Then I get the fuck back off of it and I go live in the real world, and I tap back into what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because I noticed, like, same thing with alcohol. Like, that was such a big distraction for me, where I would drink and then that would be my excuse where my inhibitions would go low, and I would be like, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. Or like, I don't really feel like doing it right now because I'm enjoying this, because I'm linearly focused in like the current pleasure I'm receiving from this, that I'm not thinking outwardly of like the goals and ambitions and things that I want, because this is an inhibition factor of the things that I should be doing.
Yeah.
And therefore, when I removed that, all of a sudden, like, I kicked into a different gear where it took a while, but it was like, oh, like, the best of what I can put out, I'm barely scratching the surface on. And it's because I've been
numbing yourself.
I've been numbing that and closing it off and closing the door on that and be like, I'll get to it later. And then wondering why I keep feeling worse and worse and worse. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I removed that. I feel immensely better and immensely more ambitious about things that I want out of life, that have showed me that there's a bigger joy and a larger amount of happiness I could tap into that's aside from that, right?
Do you still drink from time to time?
No,
At all?
no, I haven't had a sip of alcohol in 7 months.
Wow.
I stopped. My last drink was the New Year's, and it was before New Year's, that New Year's Eve. I had one shot with Daisy from the bottle of liquor that we got that you could only get in Puerto Rico from the Bacardi distillery.
Mm-hmm.
They called that the abuelita, I believe, which is like the
Grandma.
grandma. And they said the reason why they called it that batch that is because you could only get it at their distillery. They said you go see your grandma doesn't see you. So the only way you could take it with you is if you buy a bottle. So that's what we did. We had it engraved with the date and everything, and we took that with us. And we were like, only on our anniversary will we take a shot. Well, on New Year's, I was like, I think I'm done drinking.
So you took
And
it
so
early.
we were like, let's pop this open and take my last shot together of like this bottle because it may be the only one that I
Wow.
ever do. And I didn't know what was in store for me. I just know that like a lot of people were like, I know with like the way that I am mentally, they're like, you absolutely could do it. Cause like, dude, like,
'Cause you're disciplined as fuck.
yeah, I really try to be like, there's something in me that has that. And I don't know. I just like, I think I'm very determined and disciplined and I'm very hard on myself too, which probably helps in a sense, which is why I've told you before. Like I try and allocate more grace to myself when I stumble and fall, but on certain things I don't, and that's one of them where I was like, okay, I'm done. And some people had told me they're like, I believe you can do it. I don't believe you will do it.
Mm.
And I was like,
No,
oh,
I
wow.
believed you will right away.
Yeah, no, I think it was like to make the decision to do
Yeah.
it. Like, because like, dude, I've been such a big drinker forever, like social drinker. I was like the party starter and stuff. And I'm like, that became like, who are you without it?
Yeah.
Like a part of me was like, bro, this is like who I've become. And that's why I tell you before we talked about the importance of not attaching your identity
to things.
to things. And people kind of put those two and two together. Like I worked at a nightclub,
like Beer
bartended
Bong
forever,
Kev.
beer bong Kev, and doing wild shit and like and always like yeah, getting everybody going. And it's like people then like fed off that and loved it. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I'm like, but can I still be that without alcohol? Can I still write these drunken poetics without alcohol? Like who am I? Because I've always had to go into this world into being that person. And I'm like, but am I that person with or without it? I'm interested to find out.
Mm.
And it was very difficult because I do believe that when you pick up your cross, when you walk with faith, or when you do what you're called to do or what's put on your heart, there's a part of you that has to die so you can be born into who you're supposed to be. And that is a sacrifice. You're sacrificing yourself to be what it is that you think that you could be on the other side of that, and you have no idea what that is.
And that opens the door to new opportunities.
Exactly.
And new outlooks, new perspectives.
Yes, sir. And that's what it was for me. And I was willing to go down that journey. And I'm still not there yet. I'm still not all the way at the other side, but I committed to myself that that was what I was going to do. And I'll tell you that in these 6-month period, I'm at the 7-month mark now, but 6-month period, a big veil was lifted from me. And that's for another pod. We get deeper into that and whatnot. But there was a lot of dark that I found. And there's a lot of being alone that I found. And there was also a lot of sympathy that I found for myself that I think I ignored up until that point, or didn't provide to myself because I felt like maybe I was unworthy, and then I just numbed it by certain things. And then whenever you no longer have that door kind of opens and you see things for maybe a different perspective that you ever allowed yourself to before. And it's heartbreaking in a sense, and it's very difficult. But that makes you stronger. I think it calluses your spirit to be exactly who you need to be for yourself. And then after you learn to be that, then you could then be that for other people. And I think it doesn't happen until you fight that battle, or be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and see shit for how it really is, instead of persuading yourself that it's not.
Yeah.
And I hope that makes sense. But that is, yeah, that's like I said, that's for a whole nother thing, because it could get pretty
philosophical.
pretty deep in that, in the philosophical side of where that could go, and what you end up channeling through that. But I like who I'm seeing, and I like who I'm able to be for people around me as well as myself. and can try to continue to be on that path. And 7 months, baby.
Yes, sir.
I'll go the year and reassess and then decide what I want to do. But
So you want to do sobriety 1 year and then figure out where you want to go from there? Would you still drink throughout your life at some
I don't
certain
know.
points?
That's the thing that I don't know, man. I just told myself a year, and
You're
that's what I'm
halfway there.
sticking to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I get to that year mark, I'll reassess.
Yeah.
And then I'll look at things, and just in this one half, so much has changed that I'm curious as to see what the other half has in store.
But then once you get to the year, then you're gonna start thinking like, all right, 2 years. All right,
Maybe
3 years.
I don't know.
The rest of forever.
I don't know. Like, that's the thing, is like, I'm leaving it as to be something that God is revealing to me and putting on my heart. And I believe that if that's where I feel called to do, then that's where I'll keep going.
Yeah.
And if I feel that a drink is justifiable and it feels right to me and it doesn't feel like a hindrance and it doesn't feel like I'm falling off of my path, and if it feels like if it's a decision that is going to still warrant growth, then I'll be open to doing that. If in that moment comes that I feel like that is going to reattach itself to old tendencies and an old person that I don't want to be, then I don't think I would.
And I think you have the willpower to assess that and adapt.
Trying. Yeah, always.
Do you still
Always
do
trying, brother.
edibles too, or no?
What?
You still take edibles?
No, sir.
Complete nothing.
Nothing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, nothing, man. Just trying to.
Sober living.
Yeah. Other than caffeine, baby.
Yeah, never drop caffeine.
I don't know if that one's going.
I don't think that one's
anytime
going
soon.
No, I'm gonna need a re-up on some caffeine after this.
Yeah, man. But yeah, dude, I feel like we kind of fell into quite the rabbit hole of thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, I don't even think we talked about what we wanted to talk about this episode.
I know, which is cool.
fine. It's beautiful.
What are we into it for?
I don't even know.
Are we at an hour?
Yeah, we're probably at an hour.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, we could save whatever we had planned originally for the next one, I
Yeah,
guess.
for the next one we go, because it'll stem off of this conversation, but I feel like if we kept going, it would be locking in for, who knows the duration of time, because that could be a lengthy talk, especially after bridging it from what we talked about now. So for those of you that want to see the continuation of this conversation, kind of rhymed a little bit.
Look at him, he's a rapper now. Oh, he's always been a rapper.
Yeah. Pop back in on the next one, and we'll stem from there and keep it moving, because there was some cool topics that I did want to touch on, but
for sure.
We didn't do it at the beginning, so we'll do it right now.
Check for inventory.
Yes, sir. How we feeling, brother?
Damn, I forgot we didn't even do that. That's usually how we start it.
Either whether we start it or end it, it's all good. That way we make sure that we're the example for others. Check on yourself, check on your homies, check for inventory. How we doing?
I'm great, bro. Fucking remission is the mission.
Yes, sir.
We out here, man. I'm excited to get back to normal life, at least for the next 3 months. We'll worry about the next scan once that time comes. But now, man, I just need a job, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran through my savings. I ran through everything through fucking this whole time period of going through cancer, chemo, not having a job. It's been a year. Last time I worked was in October of last year. So damn near a year. Like, what, 9 months? Could have had a baby in this whole time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I'm excited to get back to work. I'm excited about, just getting back to normal, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I'm good, man.
You good?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Yeah, just a whole lot of work, and then, fully trying to just purpose myself into the things that I love doing. I think that's been a big focus of mine. And then, being in the gym.
I need to get back in the gym too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the steroids from the chemo. Bro.
Yeah.
Not even the good kind.
Yeah. No, it's, that's I think the beautiful thing right now for both of us in different areas of our life, but you can look at this next trajectory or this area that you're headed in and mold it to be what you want.
Yeah. Build back your life the way you want.
Exactly. And that's an awesome thing to know. And you also have the support around you from me, and I know I have that through you guys as well. And just keep doing what makes you happy, dog, and being positive. And that's what I'm doing as well. And that's why I always say to everybody else, like, even if it's one thing today, whatever it is, give yourself a little bit of time and do that. And also reach out to your homies, man, and your
Yeah.
family, and your
Check in.
grandparents, and your moms, and your pops, whoever it is that you haven't tapped in with because you're too busy.
You're never too cool for
Yeah,
love, man.
no,
Never
'cause
too cool for love.
holding on to the people that you love and knowing that life is very fragile and that things could happen at any given moment, and you could be doing everything right, and it only takes one thing to go wrong. It only takes one pull on your heartstrings, and you should be calling somebody, and you don't. And that's the last opportunity you had. I've experienced that myself, and that's not something you want to live with, and that's not something you want to go forward with, thinking that God is just going to give you an unlimited allotment of time to where you're going to have an infinite amount of opportunities to do those things. So give people a hug when you can. Form your special handshakes and inside jokes, and lean into exactly lean into that shit. So I love y'all. I love you, big dog.
Yes, sir, man.
And as always, man, everybody keep being great, keep being positive to the best of your ability, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes, sir. Open late.
All right, go on.
Gone. Do. Aha.